right across the city on FM and around the world online. This is Unity 101. Tube's hyperspeed broadband allows you to download movies and dramas in seconds for just £25 a month. Get started today at toob.co.uk.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Police and Crime Commissioners Community Hour. This programme contains phone calls and comments from members of the public and selected invited guests. And it's important to remember at all times that any views and opinions expressed are individual opinions from these people and not those on Unity 101. Educational, discussions, informative, entertaining. The Community Hour. This is Unity 101.
Welcome to the Community Hour on Unity 101, South's leading Asian and ethnic radio station, broadcasting on 101.1 FM and online at unity101.org. Today is Wednesday, the 20th of May, 2026, and I'm Geeta Uppal, Senior Access and Outreach Officer at Southampton Solent University. In today's Community Hour with my guest, the topic of discussion will be around thinking about university. It's still not too late to apply. And we're going to be covering challenges, choice of subjects, university, family expectations, location of university, the cost of higher education, and of course the process of applying to university, the choice of course, support available at college and university, and that importance of open days, research advice and tips of writing that very personal statement. We're joined by our guests today, Adrian Waters, Head of Student Support from Itchen Sixth Form College, Rachel McCulloch, Senior Student Recruitment Officer, and Joanna Wakely, Senior Student Funding Advisor, both from Southampton Solent University. You can also be part of the discussion with your questions and comments, so please contact the studio on 023 8023 5055. With this, I'd like to welcome my guests. Welcome, Rachel.
Hello, hi.
And welcome, Adrian and Joe.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And can I just first of all say thank you very much to all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here at Unity 101 to talk to our listeners. So I'm going to kick off the first question with you, Rachel. Can you tell us about your role at Southampton Solent and what does your team do?
Of course, yes. I'm Rachel. I am the Southwest Recruitment Officer. So I work with schools and colleges in a post-16 capacity, anywhere from Dorset west, basically, and I go all the way up to Gloucestershire. So I've got the most beautiful part of the country to cover.
Very nice.
Yes, it is.
Especially nice in the summer.
Oh, yes. I'm very looking forward to next half term's worth of events and things. I've got a fabulous trip to Cornwall, so I'm really pleased about that.
Excellent. And then going over to you then, Adrian, if you can talk about your role at Itchen and what your team does.
So I'm Head of Student Support, and my team and myself, we oversee the pastoral side of our offer, including the tutor programme, careers and progression, work experience, and student wellbeing and safety.
Brilliant. Thank you. And finally, Joe.
Thank you. So our role in the student funding team is to advise both prospective students and current students about applying for higher education and the system that's in place, as well as the additional university grants and bursaries that we have at Solent.
Thank you. And you're all very welcome this afternoon on the Community Hour. So, Rachel, coming back to you then. Mm-hmm. You're not the only one in your team.
I'm not, no. Yes. I'm one of a fair few of us. So yes. It's a really lovely team to work for. Like I said, I work in the southwest, but we also cover the southeast, so London and everything along from Brighton, and we cover the bit above Hampshire as well. So basically the mid South Midlands down, we will be present at lots of schools and colleges. We also go to lots of bigger UCAS fairs, and we'll be talking about UCAS a little bit later on. Yes. But UCAS hosts some absolutely brilliant multi-university fairs across the country, and we'll be there. And there's also other opportunities like UK Uni Search as well that we also go to. So that's the guys that work in UK student recruitment. There's also conversion officers that we have, and we've also got our open days team, and we host some absolutely fabulous flagship activities on campus. So if anybody does want to come and try any subjects at Solent University, I'd thoroughly recommend booking onto one of those, because people can come as schools and college groups, but also they can come individually as well.
Brilliant. So quite a big team and
yes.
Lot of activity there.
A lot of activity for a fairly big team, but we do a lot. which I'm really pleased about.
Excellent, thank you. So, Adrian, then coming back to you, in terms of the links with universities, so do you have any specific, how do you work with universities? What do you do in terms of supporting your students to sort of enter higher education?
So in collaboration with a number of universities, but we do work very closely with Southampton Solent. So throughout the year, there'll be a program of activities and workshops that we deliver with the support of universities, but then also the events and workshops that you've talked about and subject tasters, then we bring students in so that they can sample the university. I think a really strong connection that we have at the moment is what we call the Big Trip. It's a HE showcase where we sample two universities in one day, two very different universities. So we come to Southampton Solent and we go to Southampton University. And it's a great way for young people to experience what it might be like on campus.
Yes.
And it's a really great way for them to make decisions about their future. And it really ties in with the importance of open days.
Of course.
It's that that is so important to put feet on the ground on a campus and really experience the atmosphere.
Yes.
But throughout the year, we have support in terms of personal statement workshops.
Yes.
Why should you go to uni? Support with finance. So many events.
Brilliant, thank you. So then coming back to you, Rachel, and in terms of actually both Rachel and Adrian and Joe, please do jump in as well. All this work is being done with young people or people in general who are thinking about higher education. Can you talk to us of some of the challenges and barriers prospective students do face?
Absolutely, and I'm going to come from this from my geographic perspective because that's my experience with working with post-16 students and Southampton Solent University. It is a cost of living thing at the moment, and most of the students that I work with are likely to have to move away from home.
Yes, of course.
We do have officers that work really closely in the Southampton area and the Hampshire area, and those guys are likely to be able to commute, and that is absolutely wonderful. But my guys are likely to have to move away. So I do an awful lot of work externally in the Southwest region and making Southampton Solent and university accommodation a possibility for them, looking at the funding options. And again, lots of these students will need to go to an open day to really find out the specifics for them.
Yes.
But a big barrier and a big worry is not only the financial implications, but being away from home. Culturally, that's going to be really significant for them. So that's the main thing that I come across, that geographic perspective.
Thank you. And then coming back to Joe and Adrian, maybe just following on from what Rachel said, Joe, when you are at an open day, for example, or actually you can speak from your own personal experience, you've had two children who are university age. So any challenges that you might have faced when they were thinking about going to university?
I think for those students that are aspiring to higher education, some of them perceive that there is a barrier around finances.
Yes.
And students thinking about going into higher education shouldn't be put off because there is financial support available in the form of tuition fee loans and maintenance living cost loans that enable students to be successful within higher education.
Yes, of course.
So that is the key message, that there is that perception about the cost of living at the moment, and going into higher education, I'm going to come out with lots of debt.
Yes.
That is not the case. There are loans that are available from the government to ensure that you can, when you want to aspire to higher education, should be able to achieve it.
Indeed, thank you. And then coming to you, Adrian, then how do you sort of advise your students, and what sort of challenges do they come to you with and say, I do want to go to university, but I don't know if I can? What seems to be the sort of more current or reoccurring challenge?
I'm going to reiterate what has already been said, which is fears around finance and the cost of living. I think we've been doing some education at the college recently via the tutor programme about what is the real cost, and we're just putting some materials together about how much does it actually cost to live in Southampton, and how achievable can that be, but also making people aware that there's been a lot of media rhetoric recently about loans but actually differentiating between the phase 2 and the phase 5 loans, because I think when people see about phase 2 loans, they become really, really, really scared.
Yes.
Almost like a moral panic. And so it's just providing that education so that they're not so fearful. And then linking in the local job market and how higher education can access those jobs that are available in the local area.
No, definitely. That's a very key point. It's the employability part of it as well. At the end of the day, yes, you're investing in your future. Like Joe, you said, if you aspire to go to higher education, to get a university degree, it's the benefits it's going to bring you in terms of employment as well. So then coming back to you, Joe, the key sort of challenge and the barrier that young people are facing, or people thinking about university, is the cost of higher education. So that's one of the key barriers. You mentioned the loans. So can you talk to us about how does student funding actually works, and what do prospective students need to know in terms of the tuition fee loan and the maintenance loan?
So the two main costs of going into higher education are the university tuition fees and your day-to-day living costs. But for eligible UK home students, there are loans available from the government to assist with those. So the idea being there is no upfront costs about entering higher education. You can have a tuition fee loan to cover the cost of the tuition fees and a maintenance loan for living costs that will enable you to succeed and progress and come out at the end of the day with the degree that you want to.
Brilliant, thank you. So if you've just joined us, you are listening to the Community Hour here on Unity 101. And with me, my guests today are Adrian Waters, Head of Student Support from Itchen Sixth Form College, Rachel McCulloch, Senior Student Recruitment Officer, and Joanna Wakely, Senior Student Funding Advisor, both from Southampton Solent University. And of course, you can be part of the discussion. You can give us a call on Southampton 023 8023 5055. So, we'll come back to funding a little bit later. We're sort of focusing around the challenges that students face. One of the challenges could still be this misconception that A-levels are still the sort of the golden route into higher education. So students who might have vocational qualifications might think, I don't know if I'll be accepted into a university. So coming to you, Rachel, first, can you tell us and explain to us the different types of qualifications that Solent accept?
Of course. Solent accepts an awful lot of different types of qualifications. Our admissions team are absolutely brilliant at recognising the fabulous work prospective students have done at their colleges at a level 3 level, and that's kind of where we're looking at. There's alternative opportunities like access to higher education, but at that college level, level 3 qualification, we would happily accept T-levels, and we do accept T-levels. We're one of the first ones to have gone, yep, that looks great. Let's have some of those, please. BTECs are brilliant as well. It's a really good indication that students can do a variety of types of assessment methods. But there's loads of other things. I travel, as I said, around the country quite a lot doing big UCASs and things. So I've seen international baccalaureates, Welsh baccalaureates, CTECs. I've seen a rockstar qualification.
Oh.
Yes,
what
yeah,
do you do for
music.
that?
It's a music qualification in the
Right.
same way as if you were doing piano, level 6 and above also
Right.
holds UCAS points.
Excellent.
Your EPQ, especially if it's in the relevant area that you're applying to, is absolutely acceptable. The way to look at that is to look at the UCAS website and have a look at the universities that you're interested in. Some will indicate sort of grades, and they may be the more traditional Russell Group universities, or are looking at medicine or dentistry, but most other universities will be looking for a UCAS point tariff total. We have a sliding scale here, so it's anywhere from about 104 to 120, but other universities will have different. If that is the case, they are looking for any qualification that could be relevant for the subject that you're looking for that holds UCAS points. And the easiest way to work out if you have those, UCAS has a tariff calculator on their website. That's super useful. It's got pretty much everything on there. But if it's not on there, contact the university that you're interested in. They will have an even bigger database of qualifications that they will take, including lots and lots of international qualifications as well. So if you started your education in another country and you're looking to use those as well as sort of UK qualifications, just chat to university. And again, theme of the day, take them to an open day, show the admissions team, they'll have a good look through.
Yes.
We're all of us, and especially at Southampton Solent University, are really interested in making sure that you are progressing on at the right level at the right time for you. So we're really invested in what your future is going to be.
That sounds very comprehensive. So really, there are lots of different qualifications available, and it's just not about A-levels.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So coming to you then, Adrian, how many of those qualifications do you offer at Itchen?
So we don't offer the Rockstar qualification. That's the first time I've heard of that.
Oh, wow. Maybe you should.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we do offer A-levels, we offer vocational, and we also
Yes.
deliver T-levels as well.
Yes.
And so students can combine A-levels and vocational courses. And then that offers different ways of learning and different forms of assessment, which I think universities recognise in
Yes.
terms of individuals and what they can offer in higher education.
Thank you very much. So now bringing you in then, Joe. In terms of, you've spoken about the two types of funding that students need when they're thinking about higher education: tuition fee loan, which anybody can get, is not means tested, and then the maintenance loan is means tested. In terms of applying for student funding, when should students do that? What are the key deadlines, or what should they be looking out for? Is it about now?
So for students entering this September, Government Student Finance England is already open. So students can go onto the government website and follow the links for student finance and begin to make that application. So for those students that are eligible, it's a very simple process. It usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half to complete an application form. You include details, your personal details, the course that you are applying for, the university that you are applying for, as well as personal information, if applicable, that because you're a certain under age 25, you're what's known as dependent on the household income of your parents. So for those students, their parents will also need to support their application and provide their income details. For those students that are over 25 or have dependents, it may be applicable that they have a partner, spouse, and their income is applicable. But if you're a single student, it's a relatively straightforward process. And we are there as a university, like all universities, to support students in that process if they have questions about applying for government student finance. So that's why we see students at open days to guide them through that process and up until they arrive as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. So now, Joe, coming back to staying with you, does the student need a firm offer? Should they have that offer from their university before they can apply for student funding?
No, because your application to university is completely separate. Your application to government student finance needs to be made. As I said, it's now open. Ideally, students should make the application for student funding before mid-May. But that doesn't mean if you haven't made that application already, you can still do. Students often come through clearing, which we'll come on to talk about later, and you have a certain time frame. Even after you've started the course in the first year, you can still apply for government student finance. It just means in reality that your funding won't be there when you arrive at university for your living costs, but it's still very possible, and we will always support students with that process to make sure the transition into higher education goes as smoothly as possible.
Great, thank you. And just coming to you then, Adrian, just following up on something Joe has said. Do you at the college then support the students with the Student Finance England funding application, or is there any support available to them? Or
So we provide guidance upon when it opens,
right,
and encourage students to complete the application as soon as possible. But actually using the guidance that's provided by the government itself, it's a very easy process.
Right.
So it's sending out the videos and the guidance
Yes.
to parents and guardians via a newsletter that we send out every week.
Right.
So that parents and guardians can then help their students. But then if they're stuck, they can come see us.
Great. Perfect. Thank you. So if you've just joined us, we are talking about, if you're thinking about university, there is still time. You can apply. It's never too late. And we have been mentioning the open days quite a bit. So Rachel, can I just quickly ask you to tell us when the next Solent Open Day is?
Yes, I'm glad I researched this. It's the 27th of June. So we've got our full open day that day. So if you want to come see us, please do come along. We normally open from about 9 a.m. With activity starting shortly after. So if you can get there nice and early, and we normally have things running till about 3 p.m. And at a normal open day, you can go and speak to the course team on an individual basis. You can go to course talks. There's often taster sessions as well at some of our very specific open days. But you can go on campus tours. You can go and view the accommodation if you are coming from a bit further afield, or you or your young person wants to make that step and have that independence. Our accommodation will be open. And importantly, there's a whole suite of talks and services available. So if you do have any very specific questions and maybe you don't want to air those in a public forum like today, please do come and speak to Jo. Please come and speak to our accommodation team. Our admissions team are there. So if you are unsure about your qualifications or what you might have, or whether you can use some industry experience and you're a mature learner, you can come and speak to our accommodation team. And also those academics will be there for you to grill as much as you want, because we want you informed and enthusiastic and comfortable with the city and the university that you passionately want to study at.
Absolutely. And how can anybody book on an open day at Solent?
So you can just pop onto our website. It's solent.ac.uk. The first bit at the top has a big old button that says open days.
Excellent.
Alternatively, you can put in /open days, and that should take you there as well. But it's a big old button on the first page. So book yourself along.
And come
if you do want to. Yes, we also accept sort of walk-ins on the day as well. So if you are not sure and you want to keep your options open, please just do pop along. We'd love to see you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that, Rachel. So coming to you then quickly, Adrian. Rachel very eloquently articulated why open days are so important and all that goes on an open day. How do you then encourage your students to book themselves onto one?
So as part of the tutor program, we cover the different pathways that are available. So we cover university, but we also cover employment and apprenticeships and gap years. And just part of the message is, if you are really thinking about university, go visit an open day. But also, if you're not quite sure, go visit an open day.
Yes.
Because I think it's that experience of talking to lecturers. It's about seeing the facilities. That's really, really important in terms of helping you make that decision.
Great. Just staying with you for a moment then, Adrian. What advice and support, we've spoken about young people, we're talking typically about your 17, 18-year-olds thinking about higher education. What about those students who have been out of education, who might have been working and now thinking, a change of career would be good? Do you have those students coming to you at the college? What sort of, and they might not have a formal level 3 qualification to get into university. What support do you offer them?
So we offer what are called access to higher education qualifications.
Yes.
They span, if I remember correctly, across the healthcare professions, psychology, sociology. And so if you were to visit the Itchen College website, and it has access to higher education on there, and then it's a specific qualification that enables those individuals to practice and gain those skills that they may have lost, but actually, if they've been in employment, they might be brilliant at already, but it provides that qualification that says, yes, I've achieved this and I can go to into higher education.
Brilliant, thank you. And then, Jo, just coming to you quickly then, in terms of funding, let's say there is a mature student, now given up work, wants to upskill, wants to do something different. How does funding work for them?
So for those students that are over 25, they will be assessed as an independent student. And if applicable, if they have a partner or spouse, then their income will be looked at to determine how much maintenance loan they should have to live on to assist with their living costs. Again, they're eligible for the tuition fee loan. The tuition fee loan is paid directly to the university that you attend, but it's your living cost loan that is paid to you once you've been assessed by government student finance. In addition, if you have dependent children, there are some additional grants available from Government Student Finance England in the form of a childcare grant and a parent learning allowance as well. So becoming into higher education is just as obtainable for mature students over the age of 25 as well as young people thinking about it on their route for the rest of their career.
Thank you very much for that. And just then going to just stay with you for a moment, Jo. We've spoken about the tuition fee loan, maintenance loan. What about the other sort of additional financial support that's available to students? Can you talk to us about what does Southampton Solent offer in terms of bursaries, scholarships that are non-repayable for prospective students?
So all universities, as you say, will have additional grants and bursaries and scholarships. So it's important to look at the universities that you are looking at to see what additional financial support that they have available. At Solent, we have a number of grants and bursaries that are available to support students, ranging from a general financial support grant to ones that are targeted maybe at more specific circumstances. So if you have dependent children or you have course costs that mean you need to have certain equipment on your course, through to we try and assist students around buying IT equipment when they start at university so that then transition goes as smoothly as possible. So all universities have those, and it's just making sure that you look at what you are eligible for.
Yes.
And coming to open days as well, we are there to always look at the additional grants and bursaries once we know your specific circumstances to ensure that we put you on the right path to make sure that you are financially independent.
Yes.
Going into higher education.
Thank you very much for that. So if you've just joined us, you're listening to the Community Hour here, and the topic today is, if you're thinking about university, it's still not too late to apply. And I've got my lovely guests in the studio: Adrian Waters, Head of Student Support at Itchen College, and Rachel McCulloch, Senior Student Recruitment Officer, and Joanna Wakely, Senior Student Funding Advisor, both from Southampton Solent University. So far we've covered quite a bit of ground. We've spoken about challenges, barriers. We've spoken about qualifications. We've spoken about funding, cost of higher education, what funding means in terms of student funding, how to apply, linking in with FE, linking in with HE. How does that work? Now let's talk about actually applying to university. So coming to you then, Rachel, what is the process of applying to university? So what does a prospective student begin with?
Okay, so if that prospective student is still at college, I would always recommend them going to see their college advisors, their college tutors. There's going to be a whole breadth of information and support there. They are the people that are going to be providing, say, buzzwords and references and things like that. If the student wants to do that individually, I would say first port of call, the universities that you're interested in and UCAS. Yes. UCAS will be the main one-stop shop for all things application. So UCAS stands for the Universities and Colleges Admission Service. They cover pretty much every place that has some kind of HE provision. It's a brilliant website that has lots and lots of pretty much all of the courses in the country, of which I think there's over 35,000.
Yes.
And you can make applications to them. Generally, students will start making their profiles in and around now. I'm going to be working an awful lot with my colleges from after half term in getting them set up onto UCAS. So that's putting all their details in, finding their buzzword, making sure that everything is present and correct on there. The next stage is doing your personal statement, and there is a misconception that nobody reads the personal statement. I can't 100% comment on every university in the country, but everybody that I speak to, from all of my colleagues at different universities, and I know from my personal experience of working at Southampton Solent, we absolutely read the personal statement. Yes. So it's worth taking the time to write properly.
Yes.
And I will also be doing an awful lot of work before the summer holidays to ensure that students have a plan of how to use their summers wisely.
Yes.
The system has changed slightly for personal statements, and we might go into that a little bit later. But there's certain things that we're going to need to see in that. Yeah. And those students are able to use those summers really wisely to do some extra reading, to get some volunteer work, to get a part-time job, to really extend their personal statements. They've got plenty to write about. From then on, from when they're back at college in year 13, the second year of college, it is visiting those universities. We do have an open day in June, and we'd thoroughly recommend anybody who is looking to make a later application or really organised to visit that. But those year 13 second year of colleges will largely be going out on the road, going to lots and lots of different universities and getting a feel for those open days. They'll also be finishing off their personal statements, submitting it, and that's usually an internal deadline. I think Adrian's probably going to have their internal deadline earlier than the equal consideration deadline. Normally it's beginning of December. Mid-November. Oh, yes. So most of mine are sort of before Christmas. And that's really useful for your colleges because if you think about that personal statement, that one student writes one personal statement, the college tutor has to write many, many references. So we always ensure that we try and get those in nice and early. And then they can make up to 5 choices on their UCAS application. So 5 opportunities to find a subject that you're interested in, different universities that you might be interested in. And that generally needs to be in by the middle of January. However, you can absolutely apply a bit later on. Most universities will still accept applications on a case-by-case basis well after that as well. So please do not feel like you've missed it and you've got to wait an entire year. Look at those universities that you're interested in. Give them a quick call, see if they've still got applications open. A really good indication is that if it's still on the website for the year that you're interested in, it's probably still open. So you can make those later applications.
That's why we're here today.
Absolutely. At the moment, students have made those firm and insurance choices. So that's essentially your first and second choices, and a sort of firming up where they would like to go. They might have been to an applicant visit day and had a taster session or something like that. And then if a student is ready to go, has made that firm choice, we're just waiting for those grades to come in. And then it is all systems go with joining instructions and things like that. But in the middle of that, we've got clearing. And most universities, like I've said, will go into clearing. It is a brilliant opportunity to either if you've got better grades than you expected, to up your university if you want to. You can shop around. You could be an entirely different person from that September when you started going to open days to the June after you finished. I know I was. I applied for history, then I joined the Navy, and then I did outdoor adventure management. All in year 13.
Wonderful.
So, yes, you can absolutely change your mind. And UCAS is a really, really... UCAS clearing is a really good opportunity to make sure that you are going to the right university for you. And we at Solent are absolutely passionate about making sure it's the right one for you and it's the right course for you as well.
Perfect. That is very comprehensive. You articulated that really well. So just coming back to you now, Adrian, everything Rachel said. So how are you sort of talking to your students? What do you emphasize when you say to them, you're thinking about higher education, you're thinking about university, what should you be doing first?
Research. So we really strongly emphasize research and understanding not just the subject that you have a passion for, but what would you study at that particular university on that particular course? Because you can have thousands called sociology, let's say. But every university delivers that subject in a different way. So we emphasize this really, really important, not just to say, I would like to go there, but have you considered the modules that you will study and how does that fit into your style of learning and the assessment options? And so it's really important to do that research. And then part of that research is finding out when there's an open day, go visit it so you get that real life experience. And also to experience a city that you may be moving to and living in for 3 years. That's really important.
No, definitely. Thank you for that. So we spoke a lot about, obviously, all the things that you mentioned, Rachel, all the activities that you do within your work and the university does in terms of preparing students and supporting students with their application to university. And one of the obviously key component of that application is the personal statement. Can you just talk to us about it's very different now. I think it's been a year in the making, the new format. So can you talk to us? Because that's always the one. How do I start a personal statement? Where do I start? It used to be the old essay form.
Yes.
So if you can talk to us about what's changed.
Of course. It used to be one blank box saying, tell me about yourself. And you're right, Geeta. How do you start that? How do you start that? Well, it's now 3 different questions, and it is 3 questions. So you can go straight in and start answering them. And it's largely, why do you want to study the course? What educational experience do you have that will help support your application? And what do you do outside of college, sixth form, in your everyday life if you are applying as a mature student? So it's very, very clear what we're looking for.
Right.
And it really does benefit lots of people that have got extracurricular experience. It highlights the passion and enthusiasm far better than I think it ever did, because it's asking a specific question. And from my experience of working with young people that are also applying for part-time jobs, it gets them in the skill of answering application style questions in a much better way, and can really help dual applications between university and apprenticeships. It's much more employer focused, and it actually allows us as universities to read an application quicker and find the information that we need, because we are, like I said, somebody at a university reads every single personal statement and they are picking out different bits of information. It just helps us find it a little quicker.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you for that. So then, Adrian, coming to you quickly, and I'm going to come to you in a minute, Joe, as well. So in terms of the personal statement, have you seen a change in your students? Do they now feel much more relaxed or much more sort of receptive to it? Do they less stressed about it? How have you found it?
I think there's still stress.
Oh, yes, of course.
In the idea of having to write about yourself.
Of course. But has the 3 questions helped? The structure helped?
I think the structure is actually very, very helpful,
Yes.
because it does provide a lot of guidance on what to write and what to include. And
Yes.
then in the tutor program at Itchen, we're also encouraging students to undertake more supercurricular activities,
Yes.
using things like Unifrog, Spring Pods, the UCAS Hub, where they can do subject tasters,
Yes.
so that they have a lot more to write about themselves.
Yes.
And I think it's really pleasing that when students are able to complete those questions,
Yes.
it's a really nice feeling. And we also combine it with guidance on applying for apprenticeships and employment as well. We're encouraging all students to register on the UCAS Hub we started last week, because it mirrors the application process for employment and apprenticeships as well. And UCAS is not just about university. There's lots of careers tools on there as well,
Of course,
which
yeah.
are really useful.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So that's really, I think, is amazing, giving them that additional experience of actually doing an
Completely agree.
application. Yeah, absolutely.
completely
Brilliant.
agree.
So bringing you in, Joe, quickly. So we've spoken about the process, and we've been talking about how important open days are, and you're present at open days. And can you talk to us, what do normally students come to you with? What kind of funding queries do they come to you? Are you able to kind of look at them on individual circumstances and advise them that way?
Absolutely. We provide very much individual advice and guidance about your circumstances, and advising you about the process of applying for financial support from Government Student Finance England. So we will talk to you about what you need to do, the information that you need for your application, and guide you through any additional grants and bursaries that maybe you're eligible for at Solent University. So that open day is really important. We also will advise prospective students via email or phone conversations before they come into higher education as well, so that you're fully equipped to make that decision coming into higher education about your financial situation.
Great. Thank you very much for that. And then just coming back to you then, Rachel, and you spoke about, if you've missed the January equal consideration date, don't worry about it. This is what we're here talking about today. It's still not too late to apply. In terms of, let's fast forward to results day.
Yeah.
And somebody has missed out on their firm choice, or maybe even insurance choice. What happens if they didn't quite make the grades? Clearing I know you just touched upon it, how that works. Could you explain a little bit more what happens during clearing?
Of course. And I would say that lots of universities, including Southampton Solent University, have a really robust foundation year programme.
Yes.
So if any of our firm students didn't quite make the grades, we would automatically enrol them onto the appropriate foundation year. So in most cases, they are still very much welcome at university. So there are plenty of options for them. There's also things like contextual offers and things, which we've got a whole section on our website. So if you are interested in contextual offers, it's where we're able to drop some tariff points for certain circumstances. Do your research on that as well, because that might
help you
absolutely.
Get to university that year.
We will also look at things like your personal statement and your CV as well. So here at Southampton Solent University, I'm really proud at how supportive we are at making sure that you are able to come and thrive in a university setting. But if you don't get the points somewhere else or are looking to make a change or anything like that, clearing is absolutely brilliant. Like I said, it is a one-stop shop for thousands and thousands and thousands of different courses. Traditionally, you'd look in the paper and see a small list of what was available, but I would be surprised if pretty much all universities don't have some kind of clearing offer. And here at Solent, we are very passionate about making sure that we can make the right offers to those right students. So you're absolutely able to come and speak to one of our operators on here. I am perennially an operator on the phone, so you might be able to speak to me. I'd love to speak to anybody.
They'll recognise your voice from here.
Absolutely. But we have staff and students on the phones, especially that Thursday, Friday, with everything that we've got open to them. Give us a shout. Give us a call. We've got live chat services as well. So if you're not comfortable speaking directly to somebody over the phone, you can go onto our live chat service. We are here to help with any situation. And the great thing is we have the time to have a really good chat with you. We won't interview you, but we'll certainly quiz you about all of the different things that you've got going on in your life, because you might have an absolutely fabulous part-time job in a care home and you're looking to maybe go into nursing or social work or something like that. We might be able to offer a foundation year if all else fails or something like that. So we've got the time and we've got the willing, and we want to speak to you. So speak to your universities of choice. If we are one of those, that would be lovely. And we would be able to make you an offer on the spot there. It's usually a provisional offer because we've just had a chat. We haven't seen your qualifications yet. But we'll just ask you to back that up with any formal qualifications, and then we can potentially see you at university.
Wonderful. That sounds great. Again, very comprehensive. So just quickly, Adrian, what sort of guidance do you give those students who've sort of just missed their grades, and do you sort of direct them to the clearing hotline?
Yes, of
especially
course.
At Solent?
Yes, well, yes. But we're open on results day, and core members of the curriculum and the student support team are in, so we can provide a really calm and supportive atmosphere when it might feel like crisis at that moment in time, but we're there to help and guide and support with phone calls and everything like that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We're nearly coming to the end. I think we only got about a minute left. So just quickly then, Joe, what would be your top tip for students thinking about higher education? Somebody who's probably listening now thinking, maybe there is still time I can apply. What would you say to them?
If you're thinking about higher education in the slightest, just as I've said, do your research. Don't be put off by thinking finances are a barrier. The government has ensured that there is a system available for eligible students to ensure that they can thrive at university and become financially independent into being young adults.
Thank you. And Rachel?
Oh, go to an open day. Go to our open day, go to an open day, go and see the universities that you're interested in.
Wonderful. And finally, Adrian.
Can I say open day?
You can say open day.
Go to visit open days, do your research, but also speak to your teachers and your tutors and your family and your friends.
Yes. That's very important. Those networks are very important. And of course, if you want to come to an open day, particularly Southampton Solent, we have an open day coming up on Saturday, the 27th of June. It's an on-campus open day. Just To book your place, just go onto our website at www.solent.ac.uk/open-days. And if you want to find out more information about applying to university, UCAS, which is www.ucas.com. And quickly, Adrian, what is the Itchen's website? I didn't write that one down. Itchen.ac.uk. Wonderful. And of course, Joe, in terms of funding, students can just go onto the website. Is it /funding?
Yes, you can go onto the government website, just search for government student finance, or you can look at Solent's website and we have all the information on there that students need to make their application for government student finance.
Wonderful. That's great. So also to mention, we do have the Saturday, the 27th of June open day, but as Rachel's been mentioning clearing, we do have a clearing open day on Saturday, the 15th of August, again, which is on campus. Again, just go onto our website, solent.ac.uk/open-days. Finally, thank you very much to my guests, Rachel, Adrian and Joe, for coming in this afternoon to talk to our listeners and giving them all this wealth of information. And of course, if you're thinking about university, you're thinking maybe yes, maybe no, there is still time. Come to an open day and make up your mind that way. And next up is the drive time here with Nikki Sweet. So make sure that dial stays locked on Unity 101. And a very good afternoon to you.
Community Hour is